Let me start off this video by saying that I love my Nintendo Switch. I love the Nintendo Switch so much that I've done so many videos on third-party games. And as you can see, I have a whole collection of Nintendo Switch games. I mean, it's overflowing because I have so many Nintendo Switch games. And I've done top 10 third-party games videos on this channel. Everyone in my friend group has talked about, well, why do you always go with the Switch version? Well, one, I love my Nintendo Switch. So when Mortal Kombat 1 was announced for the Nintendo Switch, I was excited because I also thought Mortal Kombat 11 for the Nintendo Switch was a really good Switch port. And Warner Brothers has done such a great job doing games for the Nintendo Switch that I wasn't really worried about Mortal Kombat 1. Well, Mortal Kombat 1 came out for the Nintendo Switch, and it's not looking so bright. I mean, there is so many memes going on right now with Mortal Kombat 1 running on the Nintendo Switch. It's absolutely insane what's going on with this game. And I don't understand what went wrong, because Mortal Kombat 11 was such a good Switch port. I've always talked about how great Mortal Kombat 11 ran on Nintendo Switch. So there's a few things we need to talk about when it comes to Mortal Kombat 1 for Nintendo Switch that was a little weird going into this game. This game got announced along with all the other platforms a few months ago, but there was two platforms that was not announced for this game. PlayStation 4 and Xbox One could not get Mortal Kombat 1 on their platform. I don't believe there was ever an official reason, but that is very weird that it didn't come to that consoles when it's over here onto the Nintendo Switch. Because the Switch is a very weak system, so when that was announced, I was like, I'm kind of worried about this. But then I remembered Warner Brothers has done such a great job with Nintendo Switch that surely they know what they're doing here. They're not going to actually put a PlayStation 5 game unoptimized for the Switch. They're going to make a full-on version of Mortal Kombat 1 for the Nintendo Switch. Surely they're going to do that, because that's what they did with Mortal Kombat 11. They made an actual version for that game that will run on the Switch, unlike most of these third-party developers that just try to port their game straight from PS4, PS5 over to the Nintendo Switch, because that just doesn't make sense. Well, I don't think that they followed that pattern that they did with Mortal Kombat 11 when it comes to Mortal Kombat 1. I mean, everywhere you look when it comes to Mortal Kombat 1, there is memes everywhere surrounding this game. For some reason, and I don't understand why, the character models for this game have the eyeballs wide open when it comes to the Switch version. I mean, literally, you can take this moment from Friends right here and basically compare the show Friends to the Mortal Kombat 1 Switch port with this guy's eyes wide open, because every character in Mortal Kombat 1 for the Nintendo Switch have their eyes wide open. They are soulless in this game. And the footage that you're about to see throughout this whole video, your video is not messing up. This game is dropping frames like crazy when it comes to the Nintendo Switch version. Now, with Mortal Kombat 11, I've always understood why that game didn't graphically look good for the Nintendo Switch, because they sacrificed graphics to have a locked frame rate. That's why I'm always going to say Mortal Kombat 11 is a really good Switch port, because a lot of these times with Switch ports, you can't find games that have locked frame rates. And for a fighting game, I feel like we can all agree that you would rather have a locked frame rate than good visuals. So I never complained about that with Mortal Kombat 11, because the only thing that you could really complain about when it came to this game for the Switch was the visuals. The frame rate was perfect in Mortal Kombat 11. Nothing went wrong. It never dropped frames. It was so impressive. I was very impressed. This is one of the best Switch ports out there, in my opinion, when it comes to Mortal Kombat 11. Now, this right here, Mortal Kombat 1, the thing that we're talking about today, one of the worst Nintendo Switch ports out there, maybe the worst Nintendo Switch port. I mean, something to me that I think is absolutely crazy about this game, I'm not going to be able to show this off in the video because, one, I don't want my video to get age restricted, and it's not going to get monetized if I show this. But there's videos out there. If you look at Mortal Kombat 1's fatalities on the Nintendo Switch, there's footage out there where the game just doesn't show you the fatality because it's just going to destroy the game, or the game's just running like crazy. Like the frame rate is absolutely horrible when these fatalities are coming to play. You know, I had a little bit of faith with this because when I played the training mode of Mortal Kombat 1, everything was running great until you get to the cameos part. Now, something that Mortal Kombat 1 has that's different than Mortal Kombat 11, for example, is they have kind of like a tag team system where you can have a second character come out for a few seconds to help you fight. Now, when that was announced, I was like, ooh, the Switch. I don't know how the Switch is going to be able to handle that one. And well, it was not able to handle it at all, because once these cameos come out, the already struggling game to run on Nintendo Switch gets even worse to run on Nintendo Switch. This game drops frames like crazy, man. Like, I know we keep saying it, but literally the frame rate goes up and low, up and down, up and down, up and down throughout the whole game when you're doing the cameo scenes. An interesting thing about Mortal Kombat 1 with the Switch version is when I was playing the story mode, the cutscenes, I don't think I have ever seen this happen before with a Nintendo Switch game, but the cutscenes were flickering, I guess is what the correct word is for this. I don't know what word I would describe this. I don't even know how I would show you in an editing software what actually happened. I think I got some recording footage. I hopefully did. But basically, imagine my hand right here. This is a cutscene happening with the hand. You know how people are talking, the heads move a little bit. Well, imagine my hand is a head right now. I'm seeing the game go like with the cutscene, and it does it for a few seconds, then the game goes back to normal. This happens throughout the whole game after you are finished with a battle in the story mode, which is ridiculous. Also, another thing which is horrible is when I am playing Mortal Kombat 1 story mode, I could be in the middle of a cutscene and all of a sudden the cutscene stops because the game hasn't loaded in anymore yet. It's still loading in, which is absolutely ridiculous. That's something that happened back in the day at other consoles. The Nintendo Switch, this is a 2017 console. We shouldn't be experiencing problems like this. Let alone a Switch game, I don't even think has had this problem before. Now, there are some bad Switch ports out there, but for a big AAA third-party game, I don't think I have ever seen do something like this with the loading screens and cutscenes where the game stops the cutscene in the middle of a cutscene just to load more cutscenes. That is crazy, and it always just ruins the game's flow and hard to pay attention to the story because the story is getting interrupted because of a loading screen. By the way, these loading screens take forever. This is horrible. Another problem that I encountered throughout this game is the game's audio is absolutely wild. The game could be talking and then all of a sudden the audio just stops. You just see a talking mouth and no audio is being played. You don't hear any music, nothing. The game just completely nothing. You don't hear absolutely anything. I'm gonna bring this up one last time because I think a lot of people are going to be wondering why I think Mortal Kombat 11 is a great Switch port when it graphically doesn't look great compared to Mortal Kombat 1, a graphical mess. Well, there is two differences between those two games. Mortal Kombat 11 doesn't graphically look great, but I was able to handle it. I was able to understand it. There was no frame rate drops, there was no audio issues, the graphics remained the same, where in Mortal Kombat 1, the graphics do not remain the same. It can sometimes get worse and worse, where Mortal Kombat 11, I was able to handle it. It wasn't as bad compared to Mortal Kombat 1, and it was also understandable why it was bad. This is not understandable why it's bad in any shape or form. I question why this is the way it is, because this easily could have got canceled. We've seen developers cancel their games because it simply was not running well for the Switch. So it makes me wonder if there's going to be updates out there that's going to make this better. But even then, I don't even know if updates can fix this, because this, I don't even think this is fixable. This is unfixable, what you're witnessing right here. I'm also noticing an unbelievable amount of glitches throughout Mortal Kombat 1 in the story mode, regular matches and online matches. I could be in the middle of a match and then all of a sudden the character has a chunk of the map on them. Like, it's insane. I have footage of this, I do know this, and this happened to me a lot throughout the story mode. Almost every single match I was in had this problem where a certain move would happen and then that character takes a chunk of the map with them. And another thing that I'm bringing up that I don't know what the problem is with this. Now, I know Mortal Kombat 1 did not get crossplay at launch. They're going to bring crossplay down the road. It's probably not going to come to Switch. If crossplay can come to the Switch when it comes to Mortal Kombat 1, I will be impressed. But hopefully that doesn't happen because that's going to be a disaster waiting to happen. But I'm going to do my best to show this, where it took me almost 10 minutes to get into a Mortal Kombat 1 online match. Now, there was no problems happening with the servers at this time that I was doing this. I did some research because I know with games like this, they launch, they have server problems, especially the early access versions, because I did pay for the early access of Mortal Kombat 1, but there was no problems at all. It took almost 10 minutes to get into a Mortal Kombat match. Absolutely ridiculous, especially considering that this game is out. It's a hot topic that everyone's talking about the Switch version because of how poor it is. I mean, maybe everyone just gave up on the Switch version when they saw the graphics, because graphics, we're saying how bad the game looks right now. I didn't think it was possible the game to get even worse graphically, but in online matches, the game even looks worse. I don't know how, but the models even look worse. I don't know what's going on there, but the game looks horrible in online mode. And the loading screens in online mode when you're selecting a character, first off, the game can't run. Like, I can't get the characters to pop up on the screen because there's too much going on for the Switch to handle, because it's so unoptimized that the Switch doesn't know what to do. And when you select your character and your opponent selects their character, you're stuck in a loading screen for like 2 minutes, and it's horrible. You're seeing the game load within that time, and it's so bad, man. It's so bad, and to see the graphics get even worse, that's ridiculous, man. Absolutely ridiculous. Let's talk about the fact that I paid $110 for Mortal Kombat 1 for the Nintendo Switch. Now, there's not many $70 Nintendo Switch games out there. And it is ridiculous that $70 Switch games are a thing. But what's even more ridiculous is that they're charging $70 for this, and those that actually was stupid enough to pay $110 like myself, they're getting away with it. How can you sell this version of the game for $70? You cannot justify that. It does not make sense. What? Because there's not even many Nintendo Switch games that are $70. I don't know why they're trying to charge this game for $70, considering the Switch isn't, like, it is a next-gen console, but it isn't a part of that next-gen console where they're charging $70 games. Tears of the Kingdom is a rare exception because all first-party games going forward are probably going to be $60 because they've been $60 since Tears of the Kingdom came out. I don't know where we go from here. I don't know why this version still came out, and it sucks because I'm going to have to beat Mortal Kombat 1 on the Switch, because I'm not putting another $70 into Mortal Kombat to get the PS5 or Xbox version, because I've already put so much money, and I already have the Kombat pack, the DLC, all that for the Switch, so I'm stuck with the Switch version until I see the PlayStation version go on sale for $20. Which leads to the next part that I'm sure everyone's wondering. How do I feel about the game? The game's story is great. The roster is great. It's perfect for me because I'm trying to learn more about the Mortal Kombat series. I'm loving this game in terms of the story. The Switch version, do not, and I repeat, do not buy this game. I don't care if this goes on sale for like $20, because this I know is going to go on sale so fast because the official release is about to drop, and with all these reviews coming out, all the memes, all that stuff, no one's going to buy the Switch version. They're going to drop the price of the Switch version so fast that I could see it getting taken off store. I'm shocked to say that this is a horrible Switch port, because there was so much going for it with how well Mortal Kombat 11 was, that I thought for sure Mortal Kombat 1 was going to take the Switch to the limits once again, especially considering that Warner Brothers has developed for the Switch and done the impossible so many times with other games out there. This is kind of like Outer Worlds, where the Switch port of that was horrible, but I know it got fixed, so I need to try that again down the road. And we have so many more major third-party games about to drop for the Nintendo Switch, and I'm kind of worried to see how those are going to run. Obviously, the big one being Hogwarts Legacy. That's supposed to come out in November of this year, and the developers claim that that Switch port is absolutely amazing, but we have yet to actually see the Hogwarts Legacy game running on Switch to see if it even looks good, which is what they did with Mortal Kombat 1. They didn't claim it was a good Switch port, but they never showed us any footage of it until after its release, which typically is never a good sign. And I know people are going to be like, well, you were the one that bought it. You didn't do research. It was obviously going to be bad because they didn't show anything about it. Mortal Kombat 11 had the same similar marketing strategy when it came to the Switch version. They didn't show anything about the Switch version until it came out. So I thought they were just following that pattern, but I can see why they didn't show anything about it, because it was going to lose a lot of sales. At the end of the day, I cannot recommend the Switch port of Mortal Kombat 1. I mean, you can see throughout all the footage, I did not edit any of this footage to make it look bad. If you're seeing the game drop frames, it's not the video. It's the game itself that's what's going on. Like, there are so many issues that I had going through this game, that the constant issues that I'm still experiencing, because I'm going to have to beat this game on the Switch since I spent $110 on it. It's horrible, man. It is so bad. I cannot recommend this. I don't even care if they gave this game for free. This is a coaster for you. You know what? If this game's on sale for like $10, buy it, because you can put it as a cup coaster. This would be great for a coaster, man. Put your cup on it. It looks awesome. This is a coaster right here at this point because of how bad this game is on Nintendo Switch. On a scale of 1 to 10, from a Switch port perspective, I'm talking about the port, not the game itself, this, I can't give it a score. This is the worst Switch port I have ever played. There is so much going on in this game that, again, I don't know why this didn't get canceled. Do not buy Mortal Kombat 1 for Nintendo Switch. Buy it on other platforms, because it's actually a really good game on other platforms. The story is great, and it's the perfect game to get started into the Mortal Kombat series. Now, while I have you here, make sure to backslash that subscribe button, like the video, comment your thoughts on the Mortal Kombat 1 Switch port, and let me know, because I know there's going to be a lot of things that I missed out on with this game, because there is so many problems with this game that you can't fit it all into one video. Let me know some of the things that I missed out on, and let me know what your favorite Switch port is. I know it's a weird comment, but I love talking about Switch ports, considering that I have made 5 or 6 top 10 videos talking about third-party Switch games. So I've reviewed 60 third-party Switch games out there. I feel like I am kind of the best person to review a Switch port at this point because of how many Switch ports that I've done out there, and how I always go for the Switch version of games out there if it comes to the Switch. Make sure to check out the Twitter, Discord, all that stuff that's in the description below. I have launched a gaming podcast. It's been going great. We're releasing episodes every other week on here. Go watch that if you haven't. And I will see you guys in the next video. Peace. Oh my god, I can't believe this game was so bad. That's so disappointing because 11 was so good on Switch.